Jake and I had been together for 4 years. We had history, routines, memories, but lately everything felt mechanical. Conversations were short, touches were rare, and silence had become our default language. I tried to spark things again, suggesting dinners, trips, even just a movie night, but he always had an excuse: tired, deadlines, not in the mood. I stopped trying. There was no big fight, no betrayal I knew of, just a slow erosion that neither of us seemed willing to fix. When Kayla texted about a birthday party for an old friend from college, I thought maybe it would be a distraction. Jake was on the couch scrolling his phone. I asked if he wanted to come. He glanced up and said, "Nah, you go. Have fun." His tone was flat, unreadable. I paused, expecting a question or a reason, but nothing followed. I got ready in silence. While applying mascara, I wondered if he even noticed I was leaving.
No complement.
No concern. I stared at myself in the mirror, barely recognizing the girl who used to light up when he looked at her. I grabbed my bag and left. He didn't even look up. Eric was the last person I expected to see. Taller than I remembered, broader shoulders, same intense eyes. We hugged awkwardly, laughed at how long it had been. He asked about life and I gave vague answers. I asked about his and he smiled like he had stories he didn't want to tell. The music inside was too loud, so we drifted outside near the fire pit, drinks in hand, surrounded by distant laughter. He said I looked different, calmer but sadder. I shrugged, deflecting. He told me he used to think about me more than he admitted. That hit deeper than I expected. I felt it in my chest, a weight I hadn't realized I was carrying. We talked about everything and nothing, and for the first time in a long time, I felt like someone was actually listening. Kayla shouted from the porch, tossing me her car keys and asking me to grab her jacket. Eric offered to help, no hesitation. I almost said no, but my voice failed me. As we walked side by side, I could feel the energy shift, quiet, thick, unspoken. I told myself we were just talking, but something in the air told me I was lying. The car smelled like winter air and stale perfume. I reached for the jacket in the back seat, but Eric grabbed it first and handed it to me. He smiled, then said, "Remember your old Corolla? We used to sit in the back seat for hours after school." I laughed, more out of surprise than amusement. He opened the door and slid in. "Come on, for old time's sake." I hesitated but followed, unsure why. It was quiet. I could hear my own breathing. He looked at me, not like Jake did, not like he was distracted or tired. Just looked. I felt seen. Really seen. He asked if I was okay. I said yes, and instantly regretted lying. My voice cracked. He didn't press, just rested a hand lightly on mine. The contact felt electric, dangerous, real. I turned away, but he leaned in slowly, giving me time to stop him. I didn't. Our lips met, not rushed, not frantic, just certain. Then it all collapsed. Clothes shifted, breath quickened, hands remembered too much. We didn't speak. We didn't plan. It just happened. And when it was over, I sat still, heart racing, guilt rising, trying to understand why it hadn't felt wrong. Until now. Eric didn't say anything. He just sat beside me, elbows on his knees, staring at the dashboard like it had answers. I adjusted my clothes, swallowed hard, still catching my breath. He finally said, "I'm not sorry, but I know this isn't mine to keep." I nodded. There was no place for promises here. No fairy tale waiting at the end of this mistake. We stepped out of the car like strangers who shared something neither could explain. When I walked through the front door, the TV was still on. Jake was asleep on the couch, blanket kicked off, phone in hand. I stared at him, trying to feel something. Anger, guilt, love, anything. I knelt down to tuck the blanket around him, just as the screen lit up. A message preview blinked. "Same time next week?" Face blowing a kiss. My chest tightened, but I didn't react. I stood up, walked past him, entered the bedroom, and closed the door behind me. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the wall, heart strangely calm. Maybe it wasn't about who cheated first. Maybe it was just about who stopped showing up long before that night even happened.